Hello everyone, you are welcome to solve this nice algebra problem, which is x plus y, this is equal to 20. Let's call this equation 1. And then we have x times y, this is equal to 44. Let's call this equation 2. So what is the value of x and y? Now solution here from equation 1, which is x plus y, this is equal to 20. We can make x to be the subject of the formula so that x will be equal to 20 subtract y. Let's call this equation 3. Let's substitute x into equation 2. Equation 2 is x times y. This is equal to 44. Let's substitute the value of x, which is 20, subtract y times y. This is equal to 44. So here you have 20 times y. This is 20y. Subtract y times negative y times y. This is minus y squared. This is equal to 44. The next step from here, we can rearrange this equation as minus y squared plus 20y. Let's take 44 on the left hand side so that here we'll have minus 44. This is equal to 0. The next step from here, let's multiply both signs by negative 1 so that here we'll have y squared, then plus times minus here, this is minus 20y, then minus times minus, this is plus, so you'll have plus 44, this is equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation of the form ay squared plus by plus c, this is equal to 0. So from this quadratic equation, a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 20, and c is equal to 44. So let's check the nature of this quadratic equation by determining the discriminant value, which is b squared minus 4ac. So from here, substituting the value of b here, this is minus 20 squared, subtract 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 44. So negative 20 squared, this is 400, subtract 44 times 4, which is 176. So from here, 400 minus 176, this is 224, which is greater than 0. So in this case, this implies that we have real roots. This implies we have real roots. So let's proceed to solve for the value of, that is y1 and y2, which we can solve by applying the quadratic formula. That's minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all this divided by 2 times a. So let's proceed from here. Therefore, by substituting the values of a, b, and c here, we will have minus 20 plus or minus the square root of, this is minus 20 squared, subtract 4 times 1 times c, which is 44. Then all this divided by 2 times 1. So here we have minus times minus 20, this is 20, plus or minus the square root of negative 20 squared, this is 400, subtract 44 times 4, this is 176, all this divided by 2. The next step here, we have 20 plus or minus the square root of 400 minus 176, this is 224, divided by 2. Now the next step here, we have 20 plus or minus, we can express the square root of 224 as the square root of 16 multiplied by 14. This divided by 2. Now the next step here, this is the same thing as 20 plus or minus the square root of 16. This is the same thing as 4. And then we have square root of 14 divided by 2. The next step here, we can factor we can factor out 2 here. Then inside the bracket you will have 10 plus or minus 2 square root of 14. Everything here divided by 2. And this implies that here we have 10 plus or minus 2 square root of 14. So this implies that here we have y1 is equal to 10 plus 2 square root of 14. And we have y2, this is equal to 10, subtract 2 square root of 14. Now we have two values of, that's y1 and y2. So let's determine the corresponding values of x1 and x2. Now from equation 3, which is x is equal to 20 minus y, which is x is equal to 20, subtract y. We can substitute here so that we'll have x1 is equal to 20, subtract y1. y1 is 10 plus 2 square root of 14. So this implies that x1 is equal to, now we have 20 minus 10, this is the same thing as 10, minus times plus 2 square root of 14, this is minus 2 square root of 14. So this is what is x1. So let's determine what is x2 here. x2 will be equal to 20, subtract y2. And y2 here is 10 minus 2 square root of 14. So here we have 10 minus 2 square root of 14. So here we'll have 20 minus 10, this is 10. Then minus times minus 2 square root of 14, this is plus 2 square root of 14. So this is what is x2. So this implies that, now that implies that x1, comma, y1, this is the same thing as 10 subtract 2 square root of 14, comma, 10 plus 2 square root of 14. So this is what is x1, y1. So x2, comma, y2, this is equal to, now here we have x2 as 10 plus 2 square root of 14, and then y2 is 10 minus 2 square root of 14. Now, these are two sets of solutions. That is x1, y1 and x2, y2. These are two sets of solutions. So let's verify that these two sets of solutions satisfies the equation. Now, if you recall here, we end that x plus y, this should give us a value of 20. And we end that x times y, this should give us a value of 44. This is equation 1 and equation 2. So let's verify x1, y1 with equation 1. So here we'll have 10 subtract 2 square root of 14 plus 10 plus 2 square root of 14. This should give us a value of 20. So here we have 10 plus 10. This is actually equal to 20. Then minus 2 square root of 14 plus 2 square root of 14. This simplifies. So this means that 20 is equal to 20. That means that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. And that implies that x1, y1 satisfies the equation. So let's check x2, y2. Now let's check x2, y2 with equation 2. Equation 2 here is x times y. This is equal to, supposed to give us a value of 44. Now let's verify x2, y2 using equation 2. This is what is equation 2. Let's substitute the value of x here, which is 10 plus 2 square root of 14 multiplied by 10 subtract 2 square root of 14. Now this is supposed to give us a value of 44. Now, the next step here, we'll have 10 times. This is the same thing as 10. Multiply 10, subtract 2 square root of 14, then plus 2 square root of 14, multiply 10, subtract 2 square root of 14. This is supposed to give us a value of 44. So 10 times 10 here, this is 100. Subtract 10 times minus 2 square root, this is 20 square root of 14, plus, now 2 square root of 14 times 10, this is 20 square root of 14. Then here we'll have minus, now we have 2 square root of 14 times 2 square root of 14. This is 4 square root of 14 times 14, which is 196. This should give us a value of 44. The next step here, negative 20 square root of 14 plus 20, this simplifies. So you will have 100, subtract 4, multiplying by square root of 196, this is 14, and this should give us a value of 44. So here we have 100, subtract 4 times 14, this is 56, and this should give us a value of 44. So this is 100 minus 56, and this is 44, which is equal to 44. So the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, and that affirms that x1, that is x1, y1, and x2, y2 satisfies the equation. So kindly follow the steps, like this video, and subscribe.